where we've gotten a 19-year-old guy who's a daily porn user.
Okay.
Whenever right now he works at a liquor store, and in his free time before he was employed, he would do nothing but play games and watch YouTube, Netflix, anime, and then porn every day.
Yep.
And right, so we had him go to a beach and talk to as many women as possible with the goal of getting their number.
Oh no. No.
And what was and he talked to 10 girls, and he got two numbers, which is good.
All right. That's not bad. Yeah. Not bad.
And so after that, we've set him up with different rules, different homework. Now he can't watch porn for 30 days. And we're going to do the same thing, going to 10 different women at the end of the 30 days. What do you think is going to happen?
Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, I have a whole lot of thoughts about this, but I'll just answer it. Then there's so many qualifiers and factors, but the first thing I was going to say is, if he's been watching porn daily, the likelihood he'll be able to go 30 days not watching it, slim to none. My money's on.
He is actually, he can't even go how long? He can't even go how long?
Can't even go 30 days. I would say maximum a daily user, it would be very difficult to go 30 days. And he might be able to cheat because unfortunately, daily users of pornography can internalize a large percentage of the effects. I was going to put a number on it, but I can't put a number on it, but like he can create the same effects in his brain and body without even watching porn.
I know what you're talking about. It has something to do with like hysteria, right?
Yeah, well, it's fantasy. There's something called euphoric recall. So like he could think about the porn that he's watched. Like literally, he won't even have to think about it. He'll have flashbacks. Like it will be coming into his brain. And if he follows that trail. So if that's the case, which likely it would be very difficult for him to do that, then likely there might be very minimal effects when he goes back. But if and there's so many factors, and I can talk about some of them in a minute, but let's just say he totally like unwired his brain for 30 days and he did a whole bunch of good stuff. And we can talk about what that good stuff would be. 30 days later, when he went out back to the beach, his demeanor and interactional style and communication and the way that he looks into people's eyes, if he's doing all the right things, he should start seeing people as whole people. Eye contact, probably just the number one thing, like in a research study, you only want to pick one variable to measure. Yeah. Because that's how research studies work. That's why there's way too many variables to control. But even if we just picked eye contact should be more authentic. There should be more of it, and the interaction should be different. Okay. And I would imagine the number from 2 to 10, would go up more closer to the 7 or 8 range. But of course, it totally depends on the women too, because you could have 8 totally different women.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so you're getting me to second guess. You're gonna whether he's being authentic here, but so far he's been true. I think he's been truthful, because he's told me that he relapsed on day 3, but we're 2 weeks in. We're day 14, 15, and he hasn't looked at it since then. Yeah,
cool. And I will tell you, like, if he's a daily user, self-awareness very low. Very, very low. Yeah. And that's the hard part. And it's not that, if you ever hear me talk about people who consume porn, like it's not even his fault. Like it's pretty wild that people don't even know what's going on with them until they come out of it. That's why I always say, like, you can't solve that problem. If you're in the box, you can't even see what's going on until you're outside of the box. And it really, there's so many factors, but relapsing on day 3 is totally classic. So now what day is he on?
So I guess 15 minus 3, 12, day 12.
Yeah. So he's got 12 days. Have you talked to him like about his state of affairs? How is he feeling and doing?
Yes, I've been talking to him every day. Okay, so is this guy's named Josh Hudson. He's the other YouTuber. He
actually he and I are talking in like 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've told him about these interviews.
Yeah, cool.
So that's probably why he messaged you. But
yeah, sweet.
But basically, him and I are talking to Jason every day. So far, Jason has been going to the gym pretty frequently. But a downside is that he beats himself up, calling himself a pussy whenever he misses out on an opportunity to approach a girl and ask for a number.
Yeah. So like, that's really interesting because I made a video spontaneously on Instagram a couple weeks ago because self-deprecating behavior is a classic telltale sign. Like negative self-talk should decrease significantly. So like when I'm working with someone, I'll look for all of these, symptoms, I guess, or side effects of porn use. And 30 days, honestly, is probably just not enough time. That's why programs programs are 90 days. How long has he been consuming?
I think he started doing daily use when he was 17 or 16, but he started really early, like 13.
Yeah.
And he's 19 now.
And then has he been off social media and everything during this time?
He hasn't been off Twitter. He said that that's one thing he doesn't want to give up because that's his main form of communication. Every other social media.
Who's he communicating with on Twitter? I love when people do. I love it. And so Twitter's dangerous, man. Twitter's a dangerous place.
I tried telling him this. I tried telling this as much as I could, saying there are so many triggers on Twitter. Just 10 pictures and you'll find some girl in leather. And it's but he's like, I'll mute them whenever I see him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like
with gamers,
all of those are so like, with self-awareness being low, that right there is an indicator of self-awareness being low. Because when I work with people, when, we jump on to a meeting and they say, I've taken myself off of Twitter. We've arrived at the next step where self-awareness is higher and I did this with a different gentleman last week about the gym, going back to the gym. He's like, I used to work out at home for years. Now I'm going to the gym. I said, why? And he's looking at me like, to work out. I'm like, why are you going to the gym now? I said, what are you doing at the gym? He's just checking people out. And because he stopped watching porn. So here's the deal, like replacement dopamine hits come into play because his brain is going to fight to find the dopamine that he has been giving it for a long time, daily, for probably, hours at a time. So it tricks him. So like he's honest with you, but he's being tricked by what I call the hijacker. So now he goes to the gym. He thinks he's there for workouts, but if he's checking people out the whole time, he's getting these dopamine hits that will make it very difficult for him to be a different version of himself in 30 days. So usually what happens is it's a journey. And, that's what 30 days is very short. 90 days is short, but 90 days is usually like enough time to kind of move through this journey and go, you're in this first stage for a month and you really learn about a lot about yourself and where you're at and what you have going on. Yeah, it's almost
just a teaser, pretty much.
It's just like you get a feel for what it will be like when you stop consuming. You understand how hard it is when urges hit. You get a sense of your cycle. Every person who is addicted to pornography, there's a cycle to it. And we can talk about that if we want to, but then you get a sense of that cycle, what your brain's doing during each stage of that cycle, what your triggers are, and then how you're lying to yourself. And so likely right now he's lying to himself with Twitter. He's probably lying to himself at the gym. You can find out if he goes to the gym when there's nobody there, when it's filled with women, for real.
I mean,
and if he's going when nobody's there, then that is a really good outlet for him. If he's going and if you find out he's actually looking at a lot of people there, that could be him convincing himself he's doing all the right stuff at the gym, but he's just being tricked by addiction's addiction. It's tricky. It'll trick him into going, let's go to the gym and work out. This is so good for our brain.